My learning goal was to make and refine the best Italian focaccia by exploring traditional and modern recipes. This project was deeply personal as it explored my Italian heritage and family practices. The output was designed to feature my own easy-to-follow recipe for the wider community. New knowledge gained provided me with an increased confidence in independent learning. Through researching different Italian regions and associated focaccia making practices, I developed a deep understanding of traditional bread making methods and their relevance in my own cultural identity, importance of sharing food with family as a means of maintaining connection to culture. Exploring regional focaccia styles from Liguria, Puglia, and Sicily helped me understand how food reflects local history and family traditions. Baking methods particular to my family, stretch and fold, extended fermentation, which have been practiced for generations, allowed me to gain valuable insight into my Italian heritage and aspects I myself want to pass on to others. In addition, developing these skills will have benefits for my study, work, and family life beyond school. Skills developed throughout this project, such as learning to mix wet and dry ingredients, proof, shape, and bake focaccia, allowed me to achieve texture and flavour that echoed my favourite experiences of family cooking. Beyond this technical skills, I also strengthened my cognitive skills, including project and time management, critical thinking, and independent learning. Using student agency, I researched improvements, problem solved when trials failed, for example, adjusting hydration, fermentational, oven temperature, and applied feedback from family, friends, nonna, home, and professional bakers. Regular baking improved my efficiency in the kitchen and also strengthened my creativity, self-management, and confidence in tackling challenges. As a visual learner, I thrived by watching demonstrations, experimenting, and reflecting on the results. This comes from growing up learning besides my nonna and my mum, and later making pizza with my zia from Italy when she visited Australia, where copying their hands-on techniques helped me improve. Making focaccia continued this tradition, allowing me to bond with my nonna and family who visited from Canada. Sharing my final recipe at our weekly family dinner was especially meaningful as their joy and feedback demonstrated how food strengthens connections between generations. Strategies, perspectives, and feedback were essential to my learning. Interviews with professional and home bakers were particularly influential. Lisa, owner of Panini Brothers, emphasized traditional proofing methods remain preferred in high-quality bakers, reinforcing my goal of creating authentic, accessible, and handmade focaccia. Nonna's perspectives were equally important, sharing family methods like extended fermentation and stretch and fold techniques. Feedback from Nonna helped me appreciate that cultural significance of these practices and encourage preserving traditions. Trial and error was another key strategy. Each focaccia trial allowed me to observe how proofing time, hydration, and shaping affected the results. When my first stretch and fold attempt produced uneven rising, I reflected on this issue and adjusted my timing and technique, improving texture and appearance. This strengthened my problem-solving and reflective skills. My nonna's comments on flavour and texture, along with my cousin's suggestions for clearer instructions, led me to create a video to support visual learners. I refined my learning output by adding notes, tips, and visual aids, producing a multimodal resource. Learning about oven rack placement and proofing highlighted the importance of feedback, research, and observation. For example, after trial 2, Nonna suggested using the middle rack for an even crust. In trial 3, I went further. Using my own agency, I rotated the tray 180 degrees for consistent browning. Proofing dough during winter was another challenge. Reflecting on my mother's method, using extra tea towels helped but was inconsistent. Researching alternatives, I tailored Baldini's suggestion of proofing in the oven with the light on, then tested my design technology teacher's advice to proof near the fireplace. Implementing these strategies strengthened my learning and ensured my final output was effective and engaging. Through these trials, I strengthened my evaluative decision-making by combining expert advice, research, and personal experimentation. Decisions about flour, proofing, hydration, and baking temperature all influenced texture, rise, and flavor. Testing various flours alongside guidance from Caputo improved my understanding of gluten development, while family feedback highlighted the most desirable results. Researching regional focaccia recipes also informed variations in toppings and techniques. Hydration was a key factor. Using Bake with Jack's method, I calculated water to flour ratios of 75, 84, and 85%. Learning that high hydration dough feels sticky but strengthens through stretch and folds improved my technique and numeracy skills. Applying a 48-hour cold fermentation following baker advice further enhanced flavor and dough structure. I aimed to perfect the technical aspects of focaccia making while creating an output that was accessible, authentic, engaging, reflecting my learning journey and the cultural significance behind the dish. I believe the success of my learning is evident in the quality, accessibility, and cultural authenticity of my final recipe and video. My success criteria included producing a clear step-by-step recipe with notes and tips, using traditional, affordable techniques, preserving cultural heritage, engaging the community, and refining the output through feedback. Sharing my recipe with family and peers demonstrated accessibility and community impact, while feedback strengthened clarity and usability. Creating a video, I could demonstrate tactical hands-on Italian techniques such as shaping and slow fermentation, supported visual learners while helping me synthesize my learning and reinforce my own understanding. If given more time, I would create additional videos, explore regional variations, and gather more feedback. This project improved my ability to adapt, evaluate options, and take responsibility for the next steps of my learning, aligning with the AIF learning principles. Overall, my my learning development is reflected through interconnected measures, technical skills, cultural authenticity, accessibility, and community engagement. One significant interconnected measure was the reoccurring feedback about mild flavour and burnt toppings. Research showed that coating them in olive oil preserves flavour. I tested olive oil with salt, found it was too strong, and refined the method by using only olive oil. The project benefits the wider community by providing an accessible resource for making focaccia with notes, tips, and a video. My goal was to emphasize traditional hands-on methods that require no specialized tools, showing that focaccia can be made by hand with care and love, making it affordable and attainable for everyone. In the future, I envision my learning having an even broader impact. My recipe and video can be shared with a wider audience, encourage others to engage with Italian culinary traditions, and experience the satisfaction of cooking from scratch. I hope the resource inspires community gatherings, family meals, and cultural appreciation, motivating others to explore their own heritage through food. Moreover, the skills I have developed, self-reflection, project management, communication, and instructional design, can be applied in future work and study, including material solutions next year.